What's up, guys? This is Corey. Welcome to the show for the ones ready to break the cycle of the fear based mentality and embrace the extraordinary journey of choosing faith over fear. Welcome back, or hello for the first time. So, today, today I'm going to be talking about something that I came across a while ago. This is the theory of Dunbar's number. Um, so, for those of you who don't know what Dunbar's number is, it's a theory that holds that we can only maintain about 150 meaningful connections at once. So, oh, sorry, turning down my notes. I came across this. I had an idea about it because I had heard it several years ago, and I kind of had forgotten about it until I came across it in a book. That book was The Chaos Machine. If you haven't read The Chaos Machine, I feel like you should give it a good once over. It talks a lot about the influential power of social media, and it goes into a lot of back end stuff. It had the guy who wrote the book had a lot of great interview sessions with people, former people from like YouTube and Facebook, and just how blatantly destructive they were willing to be in order to monetize your viewership. And how do they increase viewership is expand on Dunbar's number. So in today's digitally interconnected world where social media platforms have become a virtual extension of our lives, the concept of Dunbar's number takes us back to the essence of human relationships and the limitations of our social capacities. So this was named after a British anthropologist, Robin Dunbar, who was who this in the theory it delves into the dynamics of human social circles, shedding light on the intricacies of maintaining meaningful connections. Um, Let me see if I can find the history because there he did a study, and I believe it was him or people trying to debunk the number, I guess, did a study where, hold on. So they did a study, and the study revolved around monkeys. I don't know which type of monkey, but it was a monkey. Um, and what they did was they had 150 in this community, and they slowly introduced more and more. And it got to the point where they were violent once it got past the 150. Um, and there was a whole bunch of debauchery that happened within the little community. And I believe the end of it, I believe they self-regulated back down to 150, or the scientiers reduced it because they had, they gotten their they'd hit their hypothesis. Um, but it's a very interesting number only because it was brought up in the chaos machine, because that was the goal of social media at this early stages. In the infancy of social media, that was like kind of the limit. It was, I believe the average was about 150. So it was kind of proving Dunbar's number theory to be, to uphold it. And that's when they started playing with algorithms and things like that, and friends list suggestions, and you may know this person. Um, 'Cause I believe the first time I ever logged on to Facebook was around 2005, when I was still in Germany. And my friends list stayed well below 500 until, I don't know, 5 years ago. I wasn't very active on it when I started using Instagram, but once, the two started overlapping, it was I started building the viewership and things like that. So at its core, Dunbar's number suggests that there's a cognitive limit to the number of stable social relationships an individual can maintain. This number, again, is estimated to be around 150, and that represents the maximum number of people with whom one can nurture genuine, emotional, rich connections with. So beyond that point, the cognitive effort required to uphold these relationships becomes very overwhelming, which is what they found when they did the study with the monkeys. So what happens is it leads to the natural prioritization of closer bonds over looser acquaintances. So what happened is, um, the newly introduced members of this community were kind of ostracized and outcast, and each little, it got it micro filtered them into smaller groups, and these smaller groups were kind of like the core of the tribe, and then they kind of like fended off everybody else. Um, so to comprehend the significance of Dunbar's number, you got to trace it back to our evolutionary history. Just like other primates, we evolved from an inherent need for social interaction. We lived in small hunter-gatherer groups to our modern digital age now, and our brain's capacity for processing complex social dynamic remains relatively constant. And that means the world got bigger, but our ability to process the social dynamics of it mm, was really the same. So in today's world, the concept assumes new relevance as our online networks grow. Uh, we dilute the quality of our relationships, and this could be seen all over. Um, One of those uh, the things I can remember earliest was the battle to get to 1 million followers on Twitter. I believe it was Justin Timberlake and Ellen DeGeneres. And you got to think, like, for someone who believes in quality over quantity, like, where is the quantity, or where is the quality in having a followership that far exceeds the number of like quality relationships that you can have? You know, in the beginning, this was supposed to be a social media platform to stay connected to your immediate family, is really what it was. And now, we're connected to people across the globe who we have maybe one or two things in common, you know, and, we glorify the size of the online friends list. And then Dunbar's number reminds us to prioritize quality over quantity. But I don't believe most people follow that. We've become such a quantity focused society where, you know, people are making their living off of being on social media because they have such a following. And it's kind of, I, I can't think of the word, but it's kind of disheartening to think that there is people who don't understand the context and what they're doing. And I'm talking about like the young YouTubers and stuff like that who are kind of being used by their parents to accumulate this wealth, and they have no idea what they're doing. And they will grow up and they will really not have a grasp on reality because they've been talking to the world. So they think that that's how life works. Um, So Dunbar's number provides a very valuable framework for understanding the capacity of our social networks. It's essential to acknowledge that not all relationships are created equal. Emotional intimacy, shared experiences, mutual interests, they all play a vital role in determining the depth of connection. And, the advancements in communication technology challenge the traditional constraints of Dunbar's number. And it's easy to maintain ties with people that we have very little in common with. Um, And a lot of us, we kind of live in that space, social media, the evolution of social media and the evolution of like um disorders like, anxiety and depression are nearly parallel, and then we had that long time problem with online bullying, and it was because we were going outside of this natural order, which is Dunbar's number. In this digital age, the concept of Dunbar's number gives new dimension. Social media platforms offer us the ability to connect with hundreds, thousands, and in some cases, millions of individuals. And, I arise the question, like, can we truly maintain meaningful relationships with that vast number? Is we're doom scrolling through feeds and timelines, and the challenge lies in striking a balance between nurturing close bonds and managing the extended network. It gets exhausting. Um, there a lot of people go into social media with the expectation that they're going to have they're going to be viral and be able to do this full time, and then they're met with reality that, you know one, it's all algorithm based, and two, if you didn't get it in early, your odds of being relevant are, very limited, unless something like major happens to you, right? And then it's kind of like I don't know, like there's all kinds of sad social media posts out there that are really really set up for trying to go viral. My I hate seeing posts that about someone dying, or a reaction to someone dying, or a reaction post on being turned down or not getting a job or something like that. Those are all 100% for the freaking hearts. That has nothing to do, like, that's not them being genuine. That is 100% them trying to manage their extended network. So, understanding Dunbar's number, it has real world implications, and it spans various aspects of our lives. In the workplace, uh, kind of fostering a sense of camaraderie among colleagues. With the confines of this number, we can lead to more productive and harmonious teams. Uh, Businesses seek to build strong customer relationships and that they can leverage. Um, and that's kind of what it's turned into. It's not really for connections. It's more about leverage, leveraging your social media to make money, really. I mean, that's what everyone's trying to do nowadays. It's not about meaningful relationships anymore. It's not about cultivating meaningful connections. It's about leveraging our connections for a dollar. And I'm sure I'm going to get some feedback. Well, that kind of seems like what you're doing. It is and it isn't. Uh, I'm I started doing this in order to put my views and opinions out there, and it started from our story, Samantha and I's story. And in the beginning, our and even through now, it's always been our saying that if we could just touch one person and help improve their life without receiving anything, that's why we're doing it. So, as we navigate the intricacies of modern life, striking balance between face to face and digital connections, it becomes paramount. I very much still get out in the real world. I hate being so attached to my phone. I try to spend less than 4 hours a day on it. And most of that is, editing and reaching out, and some of the content. And I'm also a personal trainer, and all our connection is through an app. So, um, the emotional depth of in-person meetings and the convenience of online engagement, they don't have to be at odds. they can work in a symbiotic relationship. But embracing the essence of Dunbar's number, we can curate a social spear, excuse me, that enriches our lives, and that's online and offline. I think we've lost that real world um, experience, and it's because we've pushed this Dunbar's number to a point where it a lot of people don't believe in it. And when you sit back, look at your followership, look at the people online that you actually interact with, and outside of the doom scrolling where you're liking just a random picture or not, think about how many meaningful conversations you have on social media. And I bet you it's still around or less than that number. Um, and it serves as a reminder of the balance between meaningful relationships, maintaining those meaningful relationships, and succumbing to the allure of the superficial networks. And like I said, that's mostly what it's become. It's very superficial. There's no depth to social media anymore. There's a couple people out there that are doing it for the love of doing it. But for the most people, they're just out there trying to make a fucking dollar off you. So I leave you with analyze your intentions, weigh and measure what it is that you're doing. Do you value quality or do you value quantity? Um, and if you say you value quality and you have a significant and you're following so many people and this and that, I mean, you should re-examine that and at least be honest with yourself, right? Like if you're just trying to make money, be honest. You're just trying to make money. There's no genuineness about, the contact that you're having. You're just trying to make a dollar, which is fine as long as you're honest with yourself. But when it comes to, but I challenge you to reevaluate your genuine, meaningful, deep connections and reach out to someone who you haven't reached out to in a while, and could be someone that you had the best times with or the worst times with. Check in on someone that you haven't checked in with in a long time. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next one.